I write this music for myself and myself alone. I don't write it for anybody else. I'm really selfish when it comes to that, you know. But I think that any honest musician is only writing for themselves, because they're just telling people what they want to hear. I don't fucking like yes men, you know. I don't want my music to be a yes man, you know. There's party music and shit like that, and that's plenty, and that's good for what it does. But I write this music for myself, and I share it with the world. And you know, whether 2 people like what I'm doing or whether 2,000 people like what I'm doing, it has no bearing on what I do, how I do it, or how long I'm going to do it for. You know, so I think in that respect, that makes me, that realization, that mindset, that actually makes me more appreciative of the fans than a lot of bands are, because especially in dark electronic, there's a lot of bands out there who think that they can just cut an album and that they're all of a sudden owed a fan following. They get really pissed off whenever they don't have high sales numbers. They get really angry when there's not a lot of people at a show. And speaking for not a lot of people at the show point, there was a time whenever that was starting to bother me. I was getting caught up, just as a young musician, I was getting caught up in the whole numbers game and the whole, oh, you know, people are supposed to come see this because we worked so hard to do it. But as I've gotten along in years with this kind of business, and especially this genre of music, it's the other way around. It's not a if you build it they will come thing. It's really, and you know, whenever I had to reassess my intentions getting into this kind of music and getting into music at all, and you know, realize that I only do this for myself and that's it. And so the people who do give a shit, the people who do show up, and the people who buy my music and things like that, I appreciate them 10 times more for it, because I'm not expecting that kind of thing. Especially these days, I don't expect it anymore. I don't feel that I'm owed a damn thing. I don't feel that I'm even owed people's attention and their attention spans. So I really appreciate the fans for it these days. You know, I used to think so, that artists have a responsibility to create a certain way, or to create a certain quality of product. And a lot of people bitch about how, you know, since YouTube and things like that are out, that everybody's creating things, there's no quality control, so there's all this bullshit out there. When it comes to art, art is really in the eye of the beholder, you know, and so I don't really so much agree. I think that if somebody's, you know, farting on a fucking snare drum and recording it and putting it on YouTube, if that's genuinely what they want to do and that's genuinely the art they make, it's you know, I don't consider myself to have a high enough station in life to say that it's not fucking art, or that they're ripping their fans off, or that they should be doing better, or doing it a different way, and that they owe people this. I don't owe anybody anything really. When I sit down to create, I owe myself the intellectual honesty of making sure that this art is 100% coming from me, not coming from any other motivation than pure creativity. You know, whenever people buy the music, whenever they comment on, even when they just give me a pat on the back online saying, hey, your stuff's cool, I pirated your disc and it's awesome. Even if they're just doing that, I thank people, because I know I do feel that I owe them in that respect. It blows my mind that people care enough to support me and things like that. And that's also why I play live shows. The only fucking reason why I play live shows anymore is it's a thank you. It's basically a glorified thank you card to the people who care. To the people who care enough to see it, to come out, to buy it, or to pirate it, or whatever the fuck they do. So that's the only way that I feel an artist is really owes their fans things. I do feel artists need to say thank you more than just take and feel like that they're entitled to the whole world. I think that the artists need to spend more time saying thanks. But as far as on the creative side, I don't think an artist owes their people anything.